If you were watching a typical class, you would see students all practicing the same technique or the same combination. You would see an offensive version of the technique, and you would see a defense to that single technique or combination. But what you will see is you will see students working at it at a different level. We use three levels in each class. Level 1 is the students are doing it stationary. They're practicing the skill very predictably, going back and forth. We call that level 1. Once a student is able to do that successfully about 8 out of 10 times, then what we do is we'll go over to the pair that are working well, and we'll say, why don't both of you start to work it at level 2? What level 2 means is that now those same people are now moving around cooperatively. So now they're learning how to adjust their timing, distance, and motion as they're learning that same technique. So you might see one group of 2 people over here that are just learning the technique, and they stay at level 1 in isolation, going back and forth, stationary. Level 2, you might see 2 people moving around, but they're moving around very cooperatively. And then level 3, you might see some students that they really have a good level of proficiency, and once they're at level 2 and they can do that 8 out of 10 times correctly, the instructor gives them permission to work at level 3. And again, level 3 is now we add a level of resistance. And we add a level of progressive resistance. What's resistance mean? For stand-up, we're talking about trying to offset the person, try to do fakes, try to get them to off-balance a little bit. And again, we have a ladder that we use. We don't go from 0 to 100, but now we start to give that level of resistance so they feel challenged. The nice part of this, we say we don't teach a class. We teach the individuals in the class. So let's say there's a class of 30 people out on the floor. Everybody's working on the same technique, but the way they're working on it is different. And that is regulated by the instructor based on the instructor's observation of how they're working. And if I'm working stationary, as a student, that's probably where I feel comfortable. I'm just learning the technique for the first time. I'm not jealous of the people working at level 3 because I know they know the technique better. If I'm working at level 2, I feel good about that because last week I was working at level 1 and now I feel comfortable doing that. And then if I'm over at level 3, awesome. I'm able to kind of more internally regulate the amount of resistance I'm giving my partner based on how they're doing. So everybody's taking the same class, but everybody has a different experience in class. If you don't teach it that way, what you do is you're boring one group or you're overwhelming one group and just the people in the middle are happy with the class. Why not just provide that difference so everybody has the opportunity to enjoy?